Hello, and welcome to another Junior High as We Know It podcast, a podcast for junior high students by junior high students. Today we're going to be discussing lockers and locker combinations. It is oh so tricky for our new sixth graders to figure out that difficult locker combination. So I have some sixth graders with me today, and we are going to be breaking down the locker combination and discussing how it's going since day one.
All right, why don't you girls go ahead and introduce yourselves?
Hi, my name is Victoria. I'm a sixth grade student. I'm Ileana. I'm also a sixth grade student.
All right, girls. Well, today we're talking about locker combinations at the junior high. And is this your first time in sixth grade or in any of your grades ever actually using a locker combination?
We didn't have any locker combinations in fifth grade. We just kind of opened them.
Okay, so how did it go with the locker combination?
At the beginning of the couple of days of school, it was more like getting used to it and understanding how to open our lockers, figuring out how the lockers open, but now it's pretty easy.
So I kind of caught on kind of quick because my parents during the sixth grade open house, during the open house, and where we had to come in to just walk around to get used to the building, I practiced 10 million times at both of them so that when it actually came to a school day that I wouldn't be an hour late to classes just because I couldn't get my locker open. So for me, I was pretty good at it. But then the one day, it just wouldn't open and I was late to lunch.
How did you get it open then if you couldn't get it open? Did you eventually get it open or did you have to ask an adult for help?
I just kept trying, and after 5 times, then I finally managed to get it open. And I think it was just because I was one digit off of each number, or just a hair off, that caused it to think it's a different number on each of them.
Now, did you guys actually already memorize your locker combination? And then did you write it down somewhere? Did you keep it somewhere? How did you know, or how did you remember what your locker combination was?
So I actually memorized it the day I learned what it was.
Wow.
Because mine's pretty easy to memorize, actually.
Don't tell us what your locker combination is. Okay, and then what about you? Do you have it written down, or is it already in your brain and it's already memorized? Because I think we're only 4 weeks into school, so that's pretty good if you guys both have that memorized.
Yeah, the moment that I got that, my mom and my dad kept asking me, do you remember what it is? Because they knew what it is because they're my parents, and they kept asking me, and I would try to say it, and if I would mess up, they'd tell me, wait, try again.
And we're going to go over a little bit about the history of lockers. Lockers were actually invented back in the early 19th century, and they are originally made out of, what do you think they were originally made out of?
Wood.
Yes, you are correct. They were originally made out of wood, and eventually they became made out of metal, so they'd become more sturdier, and that was in the 20th century. The reason why there's slots on the top of the locker is because sometimes junior high kids might have some stinky items in their lockers, like food. What else would be stinky that a junior high kid would have?
Cheese.
What else?
Gym clothes.
Gym clothes, or what else? What else is smelly? Gym clothes, food. Shoes, probably. Yeah. So that's really what the slots are for, because they don't want the lockers to be super smelly. And now that's why all lockers have slits, is so they can vent out the smells. Well, thank you guys for coming on the podcast and talking about locker combinations. Do you have any tips or tricks for kids out there that still might be struggling with opening their locker?
There's certain apps that you can practice your locker combination on, or you can go out on Amazon or eBay and buy a lock that has that type of combinations that you have to do and set it to your locker combination so that you can practice it at home, so that when you go to school you will have experience with it, so you don't have to be worried about, wait a minute, I've dealt with this law once and I don't know quite what I'm doing.
Gosh, that's amazing. There's apps that actually help you practice your locker combination?
Mm-hmm.
Those are fantastic ideas. So those of you out there that are listening, 2 great ideas. Find an app to practice, and then also get a locker a combination lock, padlock from probably Home Depot or something like that, and then you can practice it at home. Well, thank you girls so much. Why don't you guys go ahead and say goodbye?
Bye.
Bye, have a good day.